Well, welcome to the WFDF World Ultimate Guts Championships. Tom Styles here with you for the Ultimate Daily Digest, and I've got Megan Molteni and Steve Brown and Liam Kelly. Well, just to recap a little bit about this first day of Ultimate Play. So, this morning we had the opening ceremony, which was a pretty big deal. I was the master of ceremonies, so that was a lot of fun. And then we've had quite a few games kicking off at about 12:30 all the way through to this afternoon. Now, Liam, you're one of our game advisors who's been down here running the show. So far, how's it been going for the game advisors, and how have the players taken to being advised on their games?
I think it's been pretty well received. We've done 3 rounds of games, including the 2 show games, and it's been great. We've hardly been needed, which is the whole point. When we have been needed, it's been quick to resolve things. The players seem to really like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
No contentious calls to have to deal with?
I'm not allowed to talk about calls.
Okay, he's not allowed to talk about calls. Okay. Now, one of the things we tried in the last streaming broadcast, if you saw that, you'll know that we had Liam actually mic'd up on pitch to give a perspective of what it's like being a game advisor, and to hear what they're saying and to hear the impact they're having on the game. What do you think insight we can give to people who are watching from having you mic'd up on pitch, Liam?
Well, hopefully it was helpful that you could hear what the calls were and perhaps some of the conversations. We were able to echo some of the things that were called on the field, so you would know what the stall count's coming in on, what the call actually was. And I could also hear the commentators, so could hopefully sort of answer some of the questions that you guys have. We'll maybe develop that through the week and have a direct dialogue.
So I think that's something we're going to have to work on, is asking you questions through the commentary and you responding. Okay, cool. Okay, but a good start to the week from the game advisor's point of view. Steve, now you're a coach for New Zealand Mixed.
Yeah.
So just one opening game in the division today. How did it go?
Yeah, pretty well. We played against Finland, and it was very much an unknown quantity for us. We don't get to see European teams all that often, and it was really hard to gather information about them. It turned out to be quite a good warm-up game. We ran away quite quickly with the lead and managed to sort of get a good run around and get a flow to the tournament.
Yeah, final score?
15-2 in our favour.
15-2? Check out New Zealand Mix, bringing down the big scores.
No, it's been a good day for New Zealand all around. The men had a similar scored game against China, and then the women played the other showcasing game just after the opening ceremony versus Japan.
Yeah, I was commentating on that.
Yeah, surprisingly good. I sort of expected Japan to just run away with it, being as they were, champions last time round, but New Zealand put up a good fight. They might have even been able to get it to sudden death or a win if they'd have believed from the start, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the game started quite well for them. I think a bit of nerves kicking off at the start of the game, but once they sort of settled in and found their rhythm, they just traded out for the second half of the game. So found their flow there.
So just as a player and a coach, what have the teams made of the scene we're in here? This is the cafeteria from the university halls of residence, and you saw your first chance to have a look at the pitches themselves and the facilities. What do you make of this World Ultimate environment?
Well, this isn't my first rodeo at Worlds, and if you compare it to things that have happened in the past, like everyone might remember the hashtag Lecode. But this is so nice. Everybody's rooms are fantastic, nice and spacious. The food here, like, I'm stuffed and I almost couldn't finish my dinner, which is amazing. And the pitches were fantastic today. We got to play on one of the showcase fields, which was really nice. But every field I went to looked really good. So
cool. Happy faces from the players and the coaches. Steve Brown, the coach from New Zealand Mix. Now, Megan, you've been in the commentary box today, covering a couple of games. What have you made of the Ultimate that you've seen so far? Obviously, pool matches not going to be too close, but have you seen any good action?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not necessarily by the way the scores were represented, but the first half of the Australia-Colombia game was fantastic. There were huge plays, both defensively and offensively, big layouts, big scores. And I think there was this moment where Colombia called a timeout at 6s. They stacked their D-line. They got 2 Ds and then wound up throwing to Callahan. And pretty much everything after that went Australia's way. They ran away with it. But up until that moment, it was a highly, highly exciting game. I think that was the best we saw kind of on the pitches. I know you saw the Great Britain Masters game against Canada, which I didn't see that, but I heard it was also a very very fun, tough game.
Yeah, it was. We did 3 games today, and that was by far the best. I don't think Great Britain expected themselves to be in it as much as they were. They got in it because Canada made errors, but they stayed in it because they just upped their game and they started to believe in themselves. They really rattled Canada. Did you see that one as well?
Yeah, I was game advising that game. I can't comment on the things that happened, but like there was a moment where Great Britain fell asleep. Canada scored 2 quick goals, and that was the only difference in the whole game. Right up until the end, they could have won. Great Britain could have won, and the expected score was to Canada to win, but it was very close. 14-15, I think, in the end.
I could only assume that it was like that. We were warming up on the field right behind, and could just hear in the grandstands there was just massive cheering, and I could only assume that it was the local crowd. So it sounded like they had a good turnout. So it must have been exciting.
So the tournament's off to a cracking start. Local crowds coming along and enjoying some great Ultimate. Weather forecast for the next couple of days is going to be a little bit iffy. What have you heard, and what are we expecting? We have to wrap up warm?
Well, I packed for an English summer, so I've got my waterproofs and warm gear. So
yeah, I think we're going to be broadcasting under some rainy skies tomorrow, Megan.
Yep, got the rain gear, but I don't know how that's going to fare for the equipment, so we're going to have to look into some large umbrellas, I believe.
Okay, so this is the end of the wrap-up for day 1. We'll have a little bit more. I'm at Tom Styles, he's at Liam Kelly. At Ultimate Liam. Stevie on Twitter?
We're not on Twitter, but you can find us on Facebook. If you just go to the New Zealand Ultimate Facebook page, you'll find all of our teams there.
And Megan?
I'm at Twitter at Megan Molteni.
Cool, thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.